Good morning, Miss Lily and friends. Let me introduce myself. My name is Aisya Alfianur Nitya Prasanti with the three-digit names 140 from Class E. And today, I would like to explain article the title Analysis of Tax Amnesty's Effectiveness in Indonesia, written by Ain Hajawiyah and her team. And in this presentation, I will explain 5 important points from the journal. The first is why the research was conducted. The second is the theoretical framework. The third is the methodology. The fourth is the findings. And for the last, the fifth is the conclusion. Okay, first, I will explain why this research was conducted. Indonesia has faced problems related to taxation for many years. Public awareness about paying taxes was still low. According to the journal, for more than 185 million adults in Indonesia, only around 28 million people were registered as taxpayers, and only around 10 million actually fulfilled their tax obligations. This means many people either didn't register as taxpayers or didn't pay taxes properly. Another problem was tax avoidance and tax evasion. Some people and companies hid their income or assets to reduce the amount of tax they had to pay. Many Indonesian taxpayers also keep their assets in foreign countries, especially countries with lower tax rates or tax haven countries. Because of these problems, Indonesia's tax revenue was lower than expected. This situation could affect national development because taxes are one of the main sources of government income. A tax amnesty is a program that gives taxpayers an opportunity to report hidden assets and pay a redemption fee without receiving legal punishment or tax penalties. The government expected this program to increase tax revenue, increase the tax base, and improve taxpayer compliance. The researchers wanted to know whether this program was effective or not. Therefore, they created 3 research questions. Did the tax amnesty increase Indonesia's tax base? Did it increase tax revenue in the short term? And did it improve taxpayer compliance? This research is important because the result can help the government evaluate future tax policies. Moving on the theoretical framework, this study uses the optimal taxation theory. This theory says that the tax system should follow 6 basic principles. It's about equity or fairness, efficiency, neutrality, simplicity, transparency, and economic efficiency. The researchers used this theory as a lens to analyze whether the 2016 until 2017 tax amnesty program was optimal enough to successfully change taxpayer behavior and bring positive results for the economy. Now, how did they do the research? For the methodology, the authors use a very interesting combination. They use two approaches, descriptive and empirical. For the descriptive part, they analyze macro data directly from the official annual reports of the Directorate General of Taxes to see the overall impact of Indonesia's tax revenue and tax base. For the empirical part, they wanted to look at the business level, so they took secondary data from 318 non-financial companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange from 2013 to 2018. They analyze this data using panel data regression via Stata. To measure compliance, they look at tax avoidance using proxies like book tax differences and effective tax rate. So, what are the findings? The results are actually very positive. Descriptively, the tax amnesty successfully expanded the tax base because a lot of previously hidden wealth was finally declared. It also gave a short-term boost to tax revenue. The redemption fees alone contribute around 9% of the total tax revenue in 2016 until 2017. Empirically, when looking at the companies, the regression showed that participating in the tax amnesty positively affected tax compliance. When using the PTT proxy, it proved that the amnesty successfully brought tax evaders back into the system and reduced tax avoidance behavior. And finally, the conclusion. The paper concludes that Indonesia's 2016 until 2017 tax amnesty program was a success because it achieved its main short-term goals. The authors highlight that this success happened because the government paired the amnesty with better tax reform and stronger law enforcement compared to past attempts in 1964 and 1984. However, the authors also note a limitation. This study only looks at the short-term impact. More research is still needed to see if taxpayers stay compliant in the long run. I think that's enough for me. Sorry for any mistakes or the wrong grammar or maybe a wrong pronunciation. Bye.